checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up when you're starting to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Shall we get this show on the road, guys? I think we should. How about that? Let's get this show on the road, guys. It's ready. We're here for you. We're always here for you guys. Emergency Management Associates is on the air. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome, everybody, to the show tonight. And happy birthday to Carol. Happy birthday to you. Now, I can't sing the song. I can't sing the song because I'll get a copyright violation. That happened a few years ago. When I sung the song, I got a copyright hit. I can't do it, so I have my own version. I have my own version of Happy Birthday to You. How about that? Yeah, Carol's birthday today. Yay! Hey, guys, guess what? Guess what Carol got this morning? I made Carol a heart pancake. I made Carol a heart pancake. We had pancakes for breakfast on her birthday. Wonderful thing. We got Carol a cake today, so we're going to have birthday cake later on this evening, and we're going to celebrate her birthday in high style. Thank you, Carol, for being my wife. Thank you for being here with us, and we love you very much. Thank you so much. Now, let's get on with this show. First off, if you enjoy what we're doing here on this show, please give us a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. That lets YouTube know that everybody loves us here on the show and you want YouTube to broadcast this show throughout YouTube. That lets YouTube decide to broadcast their show or let people know that we're here. Without those thumbs up, YouTube thinks, oh, emergency management isn't doing anything. Let YouTube know that Emergency Management Associates is a viable show. Okay? Now, I found out last night 85% of YouTube shows only get 35 views. 35 views, guys, for 85% of the channels here on YouTube. That's incredible. Last night, as of this afternoon, we had 640 views on our program. We've been used to getting 1,000 views. Now YouTube's been blinding our show, not telling anybody that we exist, and we're still getting 640 views on a Wednesday program, middle of the week program. Yes, we talked about earthquakes in Southern California and literally all over the world. I showed you earthquakes around the world yesterday, as well as earthquakes in Southern California. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Pneumatid Fault. And guys, the Pneumatid Fault is moving. The Pneumatid Fault is moving in a big way. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. Just a few minutes, I'm going to show you that movement. Okay, the Pneumatid Fault is moving. Okay, we may have a larger quake within the next short while. Okay, originally I said 2 years. It might be sooner than that. I'll show you that information in a few minutes. Last night at 10 p.m., let me play this video for you. Last night at 10 p.m., the government reopened and President Trump signed the document reopening the government. Let's play this video for you.
Night. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history is now over.
The federal government will now resume normal operations.
Furloughed federal workers getting back on the job today after 43 days. They and those who worked without pay waiting to hear when their back pay checks will arrive. As airlines work to return to full capacity, the FAA freezing flight reductions at 6% instead of the planned 10% by Friday, with easing staffing shortages set to gradually unsnarl weeks of delays and cancellations.
I think it's horrible how politicians, all of them, use us as pawns.
SNAP federal food assistance will also grind back into gear for the millions of Americans still waiting for their full November payments, turning to food banks instead.
Massive increases in families needing our assistance.
As the consequences unwind, the two parties pointing blame at each other.
Absolutely no question in anybody's mind now that the Democrats were responsible for this.
Donald Trump and Republicans made the decision to shut the government down. Would rather do that than provide health care that's affordable.
As Democrats face their own divisions over the deal moderates in the Senate reached with Republicans that did not include health care reforms, an issue Republicans say they're now ready to address with the government back in business. The Senate's top Republican promised a vote on extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits Democrats had been holding out for, but Republicans largely oppose. President Trump again floated the idea of giving money directly to Americans instead, though there are no details on how that would work, and the clock is ticking until government funding expires again at the end of January.
Okay, the end of January, the extension ends, okay? The continued resolution ends January 30th. However, okay, we can't trust what that senator said. We can't trust, let me find his picture here. We can't trust him because he's lied to the public. He and Chuck Schumer lied to the public, okay? This man right here, Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries is the minority leader in the House of Representatives. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries held this nation hostage, okay? They wanted to provide health care for illegal aliens. We didn't want that. None of the conservative people throughout the country wanted that to happen. And Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer shut down the government, and they blamed it on the Republican Party. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer lied to the public. I want to emphasize that. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer of the Senate held this country hostage. They shut down EBT, food for children, and senior citizens that need further assistance. They shut it down. If you want to find who the culprit is, look at what I'm saying. Okay? Proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. The Democrat Party is the party that shut down this country. You can't hold the Republicans responsible just because they wanted to make sure illegal aliens weren't given $50 billion more money. That's basically what would have happened. The Democrats wanted to give the illegal people here in this country $50 billion, not just for health care. They wanted more money for these illegal aliens to reside in homes and apartments and hotel rooms throughout this country, getting better treatment than many of our citizens. In New York alone and Chicago, hotels kicked out veterans. Hotels around Chicago and New York kicked out veterans that were living there and put illegal aliens in their place. That's ended now. That is ended this year, since President Trump took back the presidency of this country. President Trump is doing his best for this country and for the world. President Trump has always been in control. The Democrats didn't like that. The Democrats have been blaming the Republican Party and specifically President Trump. If you want to find out who is the guilty party here, look at the Democrat Party. Okay? Now, I'm not going to talk any more about that. Okay? I want to talk about U.S. Senator Alina Hobbs. Or not Senator, I'm sorry, U.S. Attorney Alina Hobbs. She was attacked last night. She was ambushed last night. Unreal. Literally unreal. It should never have happened. She was ambushed. Listen to this report.
The Justice Department is seeking a suspect in an attack against U.S. Attorney Alina Hobbs' office last night. Attorney General Pam Bondi posting the following on X. An individual attempted to confront one of our U.S. attorneys, destroyed property in her office, and then fled the scene. Thankfully, Alina is okay. Any violence or threats of violence against any federal officer will not be tolerated, period. This is unfortunately becoming a trend as radicals continue to attack law enforcement agents around the country.
Okay. Alina Hobbs is a U.S. attorney in New Jersey. She's a U.S. attorney in New Jersey. She was ambushed. Fortunately, she didn't receive any physical injuries, lasting physical injuries. And what was attacked and ambushed in her office can be repaired or replaced. But she was not harmed, fortunately. But these Democrat people, okay, the Democrats did that to her. The Democrats have been attacking the police. The Democrats have been attacking the DOJ for doing their jobs, helping protect the United States citizens. If you want to find fault, point at the Democrat Party. Okay? Right now, federal police, federal law enforcement, state law enforcement in New Jersey is looking for the suspect. When we get that suspect, we'll have ties right back directly to the Democrat Party. I promise you that's what happened. Okay? Now, on a good note, I want you to listen to this program here. This comes from the Benny Show. Okay? We're talking about John Fetterman. John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania. He suffered a
sustained fall near his home in Braddock, Pennsylvania, apparently bashed his face into a mirror when he lost consciousness due to a ventricular flare-up. Now, what is a ventricular flare-up? Let's go ahead and check here, please. This flare-up is a sudden medical emergency that involves the heart's lower chambers quivering instead of pumping blood, leading to the loss of consciousness almost immediately. Cardiac arrest, which of course is a heart attack. Symptoms can include chest pain, dizziness, nausea, and rapid irregular heartbeat. Immediate action is critical. You got to call 911. You got to restore the heart's rhythm, otherwise you'll die. A person experiencing this will lose consciousness quickly and collapse. That's exactly what happened to John Fetterman. The symptoms may occur immediately or before the event. Chest pain, dizziness, nausea, rapid heartbeat problems, shortness of breath. And that's what it is. It's an irregular heartbeat. So it kind of looks like that.
Okay, so John Fetterman was rushed to the hospital last night. He lost consciousness. His face hit a mirror and cut up his face. And he jokingly said that if you didn't like his face before, you're not going to like it anymore now. All messed up because he cut his face on a mirror when he collapsed. Okay? He had ventricular fibrillation. Ventricular fibrillation. That's when the heart vibrates. That's when the heart vibrates, okay, instead of pumping the blood. Now, I am a certified CPR instructor, okay? The heart goes like this. It pumps the blood like this, okay? Ventricular fibrillation is when the heart just does this. The lower portion of the heart just vibrates, not pumping the blood. When that happens, immediate CPR must be initiated, or the heart will go into a heart attack. Okay? Heart will stop pumping at all. Okay? You have to get regular beats restored, and the only way you can do that is through immediate CPR and or AED, external defibrillation, automatic external fibrillation. That's why they have the AEDs all over public buildings. In the church that I go to, there is an AED in the church. Most churches have it. If you don't have it, ask your pastor to put an AED in your church. People have heart attacks in the church. People have heart attacks in the church all the time. Okay? A friend of mine, I don't think he's with us any longer, but he had a heart attack in the church when he was holding a meeting. He's a leader in the church. Had a heart attack in the church. Had to call an ambulance and have him taken out and taken to a hospital. Fortunately, we had someone with CPR that gave him immediate CPR and he survived. But that doesn't happen all the time. Okay? Again, CPR is absolutely necessary. I personally have saved many people's lives through CPR. Okay? So I'm just giving you that heads up. If you don't know CPR, get trained in CPR immediately. Okay? When I was teaching classes actively, I was charging $25 a student to teach CPR. I had hospitals in the Salt Lake Valley paying me to teach their employees CPR. Okay? CPR is very valuable. I taught CPR and I also taught emergency first aid, advanced first aid training. Okay? Make sure you get that. That's absolutely essential in everybody's lives during any kind of disaster or emergency. Okay? That's absolutely essential. Now, I want to go even further than this. Okay? As I said before, we're going to be talking about earthquakes now. Okay? I want to go down into the Pacific Ocean, the South Pacific Ocean. Let's take down our EMA banner. Let's take down our webcam for a minute. Let's go over here to the Pacific Ocean. Over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula on the northwest side of the Pacific Ocean, we had another earthquake today. Had another earthquake here. Okay. This earthquake here is a 4.7. This was an aftershock of a major earthquake that happened here over a month ago. An 8.8, 9.4 earthquake hit here over a month ago. This just one more aftershock. And it's not just one earthquake here at all. There's 4 earthquakes in this region. USGS is not even showing them all. They never do. Doesn't matter whether the government was shut down or not. It's the computers that are putting out this information. Let's go over to Japan. Okay, on Sunday, Japan suffered a very strong earthquake. This 5.3 here off of Honshu is just another aftershock. Just another aftershock here off of northeastern Honshu, Japan. 5.3 earthquake here, and right here is a 4.6. 4.6 earthquake. Further south here near Tokyo, just northeast of Tokyo, this is a 4.7 earthquake. 4.7 earthquake. Now let me adjust this so I can show you this in real time and show you exactly what's going on here. Okay. This one was relatively shallow quake, a 29-kilometer quake, 29 kilometers deep. This 5.3 here off of Yamada, Japan, this was 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles deep. Okay. Let's go further south here. Okay. Right here. Okay. Out here in the islands, just off the coast of Taipei. Okay. These islands here between Taiwan and Japan belong to Japan. This is a 4.7, 55 kilometers northwest of Tararama, Japan. 4.7 quake, 103 kilometers deep. This again is a fairly shallow quake. We go over here to the Philippines. The Philippines. This is on the west side, offshore from Luzon, Philippines here. This is another 4.7 earthquake, 17 kilometers offshore. 17 kilometers offshore. 74.8, 75 kilometers deep. Okay, off the western shore of Luzon, Philippines, which is the northernmost island of the Philippines. Okay. Again, look at what is not happening here. They're not showing all the earthquakes here in the Philippines. Not at all. There are earthquakes here in central Philippines, earthquakes off the northeast shore of Mindanao, Philippines, which is the largest island to the south of the Philippines. Way south here. Okay. This is a 4.7 earthquake at the border of Indonesia and the Philippines. Okay. A 4.7 magnitude earthquake is a moderate quake. This is 75 kilometers deep. Okay. Let's go further south. Look at this. Indonesia. 42 earthquakes here in Indonesia. They're not showing any at all. That's just bad. That's just bad. Okay. They're not showing anything here in Papua New Guinea as well. Let's go over here to Tonga and Fiji. Okay, right here. This is a 4.4 earthquake. Moderate 4.4 earthquake in the south of Tonga here. This is 264 kilometers west-northwest of Huma, Tonga. Okay, 4.4 earthquake, but this earthquake is a fairly deep earthquake. 508 kilometers deep. This earthquake is going to propagate or birth a larger, shallower quake. Being 508 kilometers deep, this 4.4 is going to birth or propagate a larger, shallower quake. Okay? It's going to birth a 5.4 large quake. A 5.4 large quake. This earthquake to the north here. This is also a 4.4 earthquake, but this is a very deep earthquake. 646 kilometers, over 140 kilometers deeper than the earthquake over near Tonga, closer to Tonga. This earthquake is 249 kilometers east of Levuka, Fiji. Neither earthquake is near any landmass. Nobody felt either of these quakes. Moderate quakes are not usually felt anywhere near any of the islands. But the ocean waters of the Pacific Ocean absorb the shock waves of these quakes. But this earthquake being a very deep earthquake, this is going to propagate. This is going to propagate a 5.8 very large earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. Both of these earthquakes are going to propagate larger shell earthquakes within the next 3 to 10 days. This earthquake of 4.4 here is going to propagate a 5.8 very large earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. So we're going to see some more large earthquakes here. Let's go further north over here to Tonga again. This is another 4.4 earthquake, 132 kilometers southwest of Hiiufu, southwest of Hiiufu. 4.4 moderate quake, but in this case, this is a fairly shallow quake. 188 kilometers deep, fairly shallow quake. Okay? Again, the ocean waters of the Pacific Ocean have absorbed the shock waves of all 3 of these quakes. But sometime in the next 3 days, 3 to 10 days more likely, 2 large earthquakes are going to hit here. If they don't hit here, they're going to hit here in Vanuatu, over here in the Solomon Islands, or even over here near Papua New Guinea. Or they could go south here to New Zealand. Or they could go all the way over here to the west, east here, over to Chile or Argentina. That has happened before. I've seen it. Today here in the southern Pacific, on the Antarctic ridge here, the edge of the plate here, the edge of the plate. This is a 4.4 moderate earthquake here. This earthquake is going to continue following right smack dab until it reaches this area right here. Then it's going to travel north up towards Easter Island. It's going to follow this earthquake fault all the way up here into Easter Island area, right in this area right here. Okay? That's a 4.4 earthquake here. I'm sorry, this is not a 4.4. This is a 5.7. This is a very large 5.7 earthquake here. Sorry, I hadn't gotten the information changed from when I was talking about Tonga. This is a very large earthquake here. It's 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles deep. 5.7 very large earthquake over here on the Antarctic ridge. This is the edge of the plate. This is the edge of the plate. As I said before, the tectonic plates around the world are moving. The tectonic plates around the world are moving, which is again going to cause more earthquakes on land masses. We're going to see more and more earthquakes on land masses because the tectonic plates are moving. That's one of the disappointing things when they don't show any earthquakes here in this region here. Not showing any earthquakes in Indonesia at all. 46 earthquakes here. These earthquakes are all caused by tectonic plate movement. 7 different tectonic plates in this region are actively moving. One plate subducting under the other. One tectonic plate subducting under the other. Let me bring up my webcam. Let's talk about subduction. One plate is subducting under the other, just like the Pacific plate, the Juan de Fuca plate, and the Cascadia subduction zone subducting underneath the North American plate of the United States and Canada. Yeah, that's happening. The same kind of thing is happening down here in Southeast Asia. Indonesia, Australia itself, New Zealand, Tonga, Samoa, Legacy Islands, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, that whole area is subducting. One plate subducting under the other there, causing earthquakes, earth movement. That's why we have so many earthquakes there. And unfortunately, people are unalived and people are also severely injured when these very strong quakes happen. Okay? That's what's going on. Jamie Wilk is here. Thank you, Jamie, for being here. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Let's go over here to Europe. Okay? Why do I want to talk about Europe? Over here in Europe, there are thousands of quakes going on here. Thousands of earthquakes in this region are moving. Yeah. Earth movement here. This earthquake over here is in Cyprus. Yesterday, we showed you 4 earthquakes here in Cyprus. USGS showed us 1. I showed 4 earthquakes. Why? Because, folks, those were the 3 of those were large quakes. The other one was a moderate quake. This is a moderate quake here. This is an aftershock of the other 3 large earthquakes from yesterday. This is a 4.6 earthquake over here in Cyprus, southern Cyprus. Okay? Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. This is along the coastline. This is along the coastline. People live here. Cyprus is a tourist trap. Cyprus is a tourist trap here. When we have earthquakes, people get hurt, people are unalived. One of those earthquakes yesterday was a very strong quake, very large, 5.6, I think, was earthquake. Okay? This is Colony, Cyprus. 4.6 earthquake, 10 kilometers deep. Very shallow earthquake. That means there's going to be more damage from shallow earthquakes. Virginia says she's getting our program buffering. That's YouTube doing it. We have a very strong signal here. We have a very strong signal here. I have no clue why YouTube's buffering us, but they're doing it. I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know, Virginia. I appreciate that. But this earthquake in Cyprus still bothers me. That means seismic energy is going to be here for a while. Okay? When we have large shakers like we had here in Cyprus, Earth is going to try to get back to where it was before the quake. That's going to result in many more earthquakes here. And again, they're not showing all the earthquakes either. Okay? I want you to know that. Over here in northwestern Turkey, today they're showing a 4.6 earthquake, but there are over 200 earthquakes here in northwestern Turkey. Over 200 earthquakes here in western Turkey. We continue seeing very large swarms of quakes here because we keep having large earthquakes here. The last large earthquake was a 5.1 large earthquake. We've had 5.1s, we've had 5.5s, 5.6s, and 5.8 earthquakes here. That's just what has hit here in the past 2 months. 2 months. And yet USGS is not showing all the earthquakes. Over 200 earthquakes right here alone. And they still not showing earthquakes. Over here, the Turkey-Syria border region. What you see, Turkey, the word Turkey here, that's a Turkey-Syria border region. 42 earthquakes here today. 42 earthquakes here today. Imagine that. Those 42 earthquakes are seismic events that happen after a major quake happens. February 3rd, 2023, a 9.0, 10.0 hit this region, killing over 5,000 people and injuring over 5,000 others. As a result, the Earth is still moving here. When we get earthquakes of this magnitude, the seismic events, the aftershocks are going to happen for years. And that's why we're getting so many earthquakes here. And USGS not even showing them. That's sad. That's very sad. Okay? Earthquakes happening in France. Earthquakes happening in Germany. Earthquakes happening over here in Italy. Right here. Right in this area right here. Why? Why are we getting earthquakes here? Because this volcano right here is steaming. Vesuvius volcano. We're getting 4.5s, we're getting 2.3s, minor earthquakes. 4.5s are moderate earthquakes. We're getting 3.0s, small quakes. And we're getting tremors here in and around Vesuvius. This area is highly populated. People living here to the northeast of Vesuvius here, all the way out here to the north here, south here, down here to the west, east. All around this volcano, there are populations. Millions of people live in this area. Millions of people live in and around Vesuvius. It's beginning to rumble because it is, they believe, gearing up for a major eruption here. The last major eruption was thousands of years ago. Back in the day, there were only probably 100, 200 people living anywhere near this area. Now there's millions. Now there are millions of people here. We have earthquakes out over here as well. Look at the craters here. The craters here represent evidence of rift zones. Evidence where lava came out of these craters. Lava came out of these craters, guys. That's why they're still here. And look at what's living here. People living here. People and animals are living here. Okay? Yet we're supposed to just say, oh, well, too bad. Let's not talk about it. I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm not going to stop talking about it because it's happening. And people's lives are being affected by it. That's the whole purpose of our show, to show people what's happening, to save people's lives. Over here in north central Italy here, guess what? 20 plus earthquakes here today. Every day. Every day. This has been going on for over a year now. Over a year, we've been having swarms of earthquakes here. And when that happens, swarms begat large earthquakes. The swarms of earthquakes here are tremors, minor earthquakes, and small 3.0, 3.2 earthquakes. There's going to be another large 5.0 to 5.5 earthquake here very soon. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Earthquakes here in northern Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, all throughout this area. Earthquakes here in Spain. Yeah, Spain. Around here, the Strait of Gibraltar. We showed you earthquakes here yesterday. They're still going on. They're still going on. Now, up here in the Norwegian Sea and the Greenland Sea here, yesterday we had a very large earthquake. But what happened up here for the north? Right up here, we had a 7.4 earthquake, a major 7.4 earthquake here in the Greenland Sea. Greenland Sea. And down here, just southwest of Greenland, today, This is the Davis Strait. This is the 4.6 moderate earthquake here in the Davis Strait. Okay? Down here in South America, there are 42 earthquakes here as well. USGS is showing one earthquake here in southern Peru. 4.8 moderate quake. This is not the only 4.0, 4.2 earthquake here. This is 4.8. There are small 3.0s, 3.9s in this region, and further south into central Chile, we have some 2s and 3s here. 2.2, 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes, 3.0, 3.4, 3.6, and 3.8 earthquakes down here in central Chile. Every day. Every day. That's one of the reasons I get so upset. Because again, the agency is not telling us the truth. People's lives are being affected. If you feel a 3.0 earthquake, you're going to feel it. Your life's going to be affected by it. You feel rumbling under your feet. However, if it turns into a 4.2, 4.6, 4.8, then your glasses and your plates are going to rattle around. Knickknacks and books are going to be knocked off shelves. Pictures and plaques on walls are going to fall to the floor. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. That's what happens here. And again, the agency doesn't think they need to talk about it. Who talks about it? Certainly not their governments. Their governments don't talk about it and give people real information. The only time we get the governments give any information is when there's a disaster. When there's a disaster. And even then, they don't want to admit that it happens. Let's go over here to the Caribbean, to the southern or central Pacific, central Atlantic Ocean here. Let's go over here to southwestern Puerto Rico. Southwestern Puerto Rico. You see earthquakes here. Even one of these red earthquakes here. The red earthquake just happened. Just barely happened. Okay? Let's go back to 2019. December 26th and December 28th, 2019. We had 2 earthquakes here. 2 earthquakes here, guys. What happened there? Does anybody remember what happened there? 2 major earthquakes. 8.0 on December 26th and an 8.4 on December 28th. Big time. Big time. Why did they happen? The answer is simple. Those earthquakes were caused by men. They were manufactured quakes. They were manufactured quakes. Okay? I'm trying to reach around my camera system here to show you some information. Okay? This agency right here. This agency right here caused it. Okay? Please do not put this agency on the chat. I don't want to be taken down. Please do not show this agency on the chat. Okay? This agency opened up a facility in Norway. They opened up a facility in Russia. They opened up a facility in northwestern Australia. The facilities triangulated Puerto Rico. The facilities triangulated Puerto Rico. And they turned on their antennas, causing 8.0 earthquake on December 26, 2019, and December 28, 2019, an 8.4 earthquake. 8.4 earthquake, 2 earthquakes causing major damage. And those earthquakes also killed quite a few people. Quite a few people died. Buildings, not just businesses, but homes were devastated. Some homes were made completely uninhabitable. Major cracks in ceilings and rafters in people's homes crashed as a result of those earthquakes. Major damage. Today up here, just to the middle, up here, north of Ponce, this is a 2.4 minor earthquake here today. Adjuntas, Puerto Rico. This is a 2.0 here. Talabola, Puerto Rico. This new earthquake here is a 2.2. Maria Antonia, Puerto Rico. When those two earthquakes hit, it devastated this whole region. Devastated this whole region here. Okay? Let's go over here. I want to show you this region here. There's a city here. People live here. There was also a sandstone arch here. Great big huge sandstone arch here at the coastline. The sandstone arch resembled the arches in Arches National Park in Utah. When that 8.4 earthquake happened, it completely annihilated this arch here at the beach in Puerto Rico. Now all it is a bunch of rocks on the beach. Used to be a beautiful sandstone arch, completely torn apart by that earthquake. Man-made earthquake. Man-made earthquake. And today, we're still seeing aftershocks from those two earthquakes, those two man-made earthquakes. That's what happens. That's what happens, guys. Unfortunately, people haven't learned. Our governments haven't learned. I'm not saying it was the President of the United States that did it. I'm not saying that at all. But evil men did it. Okay? Evil men in our society did it. They're the ones that made sure the equipment and the antennas were turned on and they were triangulated in Puerto Rico, causing these quakes. It's happened before. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. Because they want to control the people. When you control the earthquakes, when you control the weather, when you control the food supply, you control the people. That's what goes on here. That's what's going on here. Now, yesterday we talked about Southern California right here. Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley. And Orange County, 4 different counties here in Southern California. As you see, we still are having earthquakes. And as you can see, they're still not reporting all the earthquakes as I did yesterday. They're not taking responsibility for anything. 500 earthquakes a day occur here in the Imperial Valley. They're not showing them because they don't think they have to. Over 400 earthquakes occur daily here in Los Angeles County and Orange County. That's 1,000 earthquakes a day in this region that they are not reporting. Right here, 1,000 earthquakes a day that they're not reporting. 200 plus in northwestern Turkey that they're not reporting. 50 earthquakes in the Turkey-Syria border region that they're not reporting. Earthquakes in South America. Earthquakes in Indonesia that they're not reporting. About 2,000 earthquakes a day that are not being reported on. And today, USGS says there's 250 earthquakes worldwide. What a lie. That is a complete out and out lie. Okay? Let's go up here to the north. Okay? Want to talk about San Francisco next. South of San Francisco right here, Alum Rock. Alum Rock had a 2.0 earthquake here today. Okay? Early this morning. 7:57 Eastern Time this morning. This is on the Hayward Fault. This area near Alum Rock is where the Hayward, the Calaveras just to the east of the Hayward, and the San Andreas Fault come close together. This is probably one of the most dangerous areas to live here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Because when you see these three earthquake faults together, that means these major earthquake faults could attack the other faults. When there's a major earthquake on one of the faults, it's going to shake the other two. That's what's going to happen. It's happened in the past. Okay? San Francisco Bay Area right here. Just south of the entrance to San Francisco Bay. Again, this is another earthquake here. We talked about an earthquake here just barely to the north of this one. Today, another 1.6 tremor here, hit here in Pacifica, California. 1.6 tremor. Just to the east of there, on the edge of the San Francisco Bay. This is Burlingame, California. In San Francisco Bay here, 1.2 tremor. Guys, we continue to see earthquakes here. What's going to happen? We're pruning this region for another major quake. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time when another major earthquake hits this area. Up here on the northern side of the San Francisco Bay, right here. Vallejo, California. This is the 1.5 tremor here. 1.5 tremor. We had another 2.0 earthquake here yesterday. Still rattling this area. Again, we continue to see these earthquakes happen. This one in Vallejo is on the Hayward Fault. So we had one here to the north and one down here to the south. The entire fault areas are moving. The entire fault areas are moving here. This one here in Pacifica is on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault, guys. Okay. Now again, yesterday we talked about these earthquakes here in the Geysers facility. The Geysers facility is in Sonoma County, California, wine country. Wine country. Why do we have these earthquakes? Simply said, men have drilled into that upper magma chamber of this volcano right here, the Clear Lake volcano. They drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to harvest steam from the volcano to power turbines here in the Geysers facility. Earthquakes here happen because seismic energy comes off the Pacific Ocean here and comes over here to the North American plate, North American craton. Comes over these man-made drill points, man-made earthquake faults. It fractures the rock inside these man-made earthquake faults, where men have drilled. They have, excuse me, let me back up a little bit. See these earthquakes here? Along all the roadways out here, there are PVC pipe carrying the hot steam to the turbines. The PVC pipe are running along the right or left-hand side of the roadways here. Okay? They bring the hot steam to the turbine facilities to power turbines here to generate electricity. There are over 81 turbines in this facility alone. 81 turbines in this facility generating electricity. But every time we have an earthquake, which happens 20 to 30 times every day here in the Geysers facility area. 20 to 40 earthquakes a day here. Literally. 20 to 40 earthquakes a day here in this region. Because men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of this volcano. Seismic energy comes off the Pacific Ocean, goes over to the man-made earthquake faults, fractures rock inside the faults, causing earth movement. 2 days ago, we had a 3.5 earthquake here. 3.5 earthquake here. Most of these are 1.0 to 1.9 and 2.0 to 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes here. Small tremors and minor earthquakes every day. Occasionally, we will see a 3.0 to 4.5 earthquake. 3.0, 3.9 are considered to be small quakes. 4.0 and larger to 4.9 are moderate earthquakes. We have seen that here. We've never seen in the almost 7 years I've been broadcasting, we've never seen a large earthquake here in the Geysers facility. Yes, it is possible. It is possible it could happen. But we're not just seeing earthquakes here, we're seeing earthquakes here at the Clear Lake volcano. Because all the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. All the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. Just like we've seen up here in the Washington, Oregon area here. Look at this. They're showing one earthquake over here in Oregon, right here. One earthquake here in Oregon. Louisville, Washington. They call this an explosion. They call this an explosion, guys. It's not. It's not an explosion at all. It's a tremor here. It's a tremor here, guys. A tremor here. Look where it's at. In a residential area. There's been no explosion here. There's been no explosion at all. They're lying through their teeth. They're lying through their teeth again. Spontaneous combustus carnivorous. Yes, thank you, Demon Catman, for making this meme for me. Spontaneous combustus carnivorous here in Washington State. Okay? Spontaneous combustus carnivorous. An exploding tree. Demon Catman, you're awesome. Thank you. Renee Steffi says marmots peacefully protesting. I love it. Renee, you're awesome. Thank you for that. Made me laugh. That's a good one. That's a real good one. I appreciate it. Total Vagabonds is here from Ireland, guys. Welcome. We appreciate you being here. He says he's a little late, but he's here. Lots of love from the beautiful Emerald Isles. Total Vagabonds, it's a pleasure seeing you again. God bless you, son. You're awesome. You're awesome. But why are they not showing earthquakes around the volcanoes? Why are they not showing earthquakes here at Mount Hood? Every day Mount Hood has earthquakes. Right now they're also having harmonic tremors. Why? Because the volcanoes have woken up. Not showing any earthquakes around here. Not at Mount St. Helens or Mount Adams. Why not? Not at Mount Rainier either. Why are they not doing that? Those earthquakes are here, but they rather show us this here. Microquake. Sunnyside, Washington. Go figure. Microquake here in Sunnyside, Washington. They don't want anybody to know what's going on. Heaven forbid. By the way, this is 12.8 kilometers deep. How about this explosion here? This explosion was 1/4 of a mile deep, allegedly. It's a tremor. It's a cotton picking tremor here. Now, there could be, and I'm saying it's a possibility, I do not know where the underground magma chambers are that come off the Pacific Ocean. Yes, they're underground magma chambers that come off the Pacific Ocean, that come over here and feed the volcanoes. They feed the volcanoes, guys. It does happen. Magma feeding the volcanoes. We've seen it before. Real quickly, I want to go over here to northern Idaho, northwestern Idaho here. Look at this. Another 1.5 tremor explosion. Rockford Bay, Idaho. Basically 3 miles west-northwest of Rockford Bay, Idaho. Let's zoom in here. I want to see this. There's no explosion here, guys. There's no explosion here. It's out here in the forest. Unless they're harvesting trees here, this is not an explosion at all. Not explosion at all. Spontaneous combustus carnivorous. Exploding tree. Or maybe marmots fighting. Marmots protesting. Yes, Renee Seppi, those marmots move quickly, don't they? I just love it. Just love it. Unreal, guys. Yet this is what the agency would have us believe. Oh, nothing's happening. Let's show you a tremor here. Let's show you a tremor. But let's say it's an explosion. It's not. It's not. Yes, Linda, how is your little one doing? Linda Covington is a very dear friend of our program, and she's had her grandchildren, she's had her sister there, and she's had other people there helping her as well. And she's here part of our program. She loves our program. Thank you for being here, Linda. We appreciate you so much. God bless you. Hurricane Heather says, riding marmots. Yeah, isn't that a kick? Riding marmots. I would love it. I would love to see that. I would love to see a meme showing marmots rioting. That would be a kick and a half. Anyway, down here off the coast of California, in the southern part of the Cascadia subduction zone region, the Cascadia subduction zone region here, we have an earthquake on the Cascadia subduction zone, the fault zone. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 earthquake on the Cascadia subduction zone. 83 kilometers west of Trinidad, California. Yes, we do get earthquakes on the subduction zone earthquake fault. This is just one of many that have happened. 3.3 earthquake today on the Cascadia subduction zone here off the coast of California. Okay? Now, I've talked a lot about earthquakes around the world. No, I have not brought up Canada. Canada has had its own minor tremors on the west and the east coast. I want to go over here to the New Madrid Fault. Notice this. The USGS is not showing any earthquakes whatsoever here on the southern part of the fault or the northern part of the fault. They're not showing anything here. But again, I'm going to tell you this. There are earthquakes here. There are earthquakes, and it appears the earthquakes are getting stronger and we're seeing more and more earthquakes. That's telling us that this fault zone is moving in a big way. The fault zone is moving in a large way. Why am I saying that? Everybody needs to get prepared for an earthquake on the new Madrid fault, and I'm talking immediately. You need to get ready for an immediate earthquake on the new Madrid fault. The new Madrid fault is moving. The new Madrid fault is moving. Let me show you some earthquakes. Would you like to see some earthquakes to show it exactly what's going on? I think it's high time we show some earthquakes. What do you think? Let's show some earthquakes here. Are you ready? Let's have some earthquakes. Actually, before I do that, right here. Okay, I was going to show you this earlier. I'm going to show it to you right now. We've talked about a lot of earthquakes happening all around the globe, all around the world. This is a representative diagram of earthquakes literally during the last 30 days, all around the Ring of Fire. Look at the fault zones, look at the earthquakes. Look at the tectonic plates. This is a representation of all the earthquakes that have happened in here in the Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay? This is in the last 30 days, guys. Incredible. Incredible representation of what's going on here. Now let's go over to the new Madrid fault. I'm going to start in Arkansas. Arkansas is a good place to start here. Let me reduce the size of this diagram so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, this is Catfish Pond, Arkansas. Look what we're showing you here. This morning in Catfish Pond, all we see here are microquakes and some tremors here. Microquakes and tremors here for the most part this morning. However, what happened later this morning? Let's look at this, okay? After 6:40 or 5:45 this morning, things started happening, didn't they? Prior to 5:45, we maybe have had 1.0 tremors, long duration tremors. Those started increasing just after 5:55 this morning. Tremors. What happened after 7:03 this morning? 7:03 this morning, we have a 2.3 earthquake and more tremors. Then another 2.6 earthquake and more tremors. Okay? 7:30 on the blue line here. 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes. 7:02 this morning, 7:32 this morning. Over on the right side, 7:40, say 7:43 this morning. 2.3, 2.4 earthquakes. Then out of nowhere, after 8:52 this morning, 8:52 this morning, we had 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here at Catfish Pond, Arkansas. Then after 9:15, 9:15 over on the left-hand side, here we are at 9:25. 9:25 a.m. this morning. Again, 3.3, 3.5 earthquakes here on the new Madrid fault. on the pneumatic fault here. Look at the other earthquakes and tremors here. After 9:45 on the left-hand side, we come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes later, 2.8 earthquake. 2.8 earthquake. 9:50 this morning. This is just representative of what is happening all up and down the fault line. What I'm going to show you is very important. I would ask everybody here, pay attention to what we're talking about. The pneumatic fault, what I'm going to show you are a lot of earthquakes, and the seismic energy is increasing. The strength of the earthquakes are increasing, and the numbers of earthquakes are also increasing up and down the entire fault line. Catfish Pond, Arkansas this afternoon. Look at this. Wasn't just this morning. Wasn't just this morning. The top line here is 12 noon on the left-hand side. We dropped down to 2 p.m. this afternoon. On the right-hand side on the green line, we have tremors before we have the earthquake at 2 p.m. The 2 p.m. earthquake is about a 2.5 earthquake, minor earthquake. Then we see tremors here. 2:33 this afternoon, a 2.0 earthquake. Then we come over here to the right. 2:41 p.m. this afternoon. Another 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. Notice the same thing that happened earlier. The tops and the bottoms of these earthquake sequences have been cut off. That means these earthquakes are stronger than they're showing to be. These earthquakes are stronger than they are showing them to be here on the seismograph. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. Now, why am I saying that? Look out to the right-hand side of that earthquake, the primary wave of that earthquake. Okay? Come out to the right. Over 2.5 minutes worth of shaking. Secondary wave here. Secondary wave, 2.5 minutes worth of shaking. That means this primary wave here was a 3.5 earthquake. 3.5 small earthquake. That's significant. That's very significant. Yes, we've had minor earthquakes here before, 2.0 to 2.9. Now we have grown stronger earthquakes here. Much stronger earthquakes here. Not just Catfish Pond, but many other places. Let me show you this. Hatachikoon, Arkansas. Hatachikoon, Arkansas, up here at the top, just after midnight. We have 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes hitting here. 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes happening early this morning after midnight. 12:01, 12:04 a.m. this morning. Not to be outdone. 4:13 a.m. this morning, 3.0 earthquake. 4:13 a.m. this morning, 3.0 earthquake. And then you see these little vibrations on the stylus here, on these individual lines. The individual lines should not be vibrating here. That is a stylus. That is a stylus. The stylus is feeling vibrations. Vibrations here. Okay? Now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. this morning. The stylus is feeling vibrations. 5:15 on the red line. Vibrations are still being recorded here. We come across 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we're talking about 5:23 this morning. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. 1.9 tremor, 2.0 earthquake. Then 3 minutes later, another 2.0 earthquake hit. Then we come down to the blue line. The blue line here on the left side is 5:30 this morning. We come across here to the right, the center here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes later. 3.5 earthquake here. The top and the bottom of this sequence has been cut off. We don't see the bottom because we have other earthquakes here after that covered up the bottom of this quake. This is at least a 3.5 earthquake here in Hatachikoon, Arkansas. But look what happened after that. Here we have vibrations, but these vibrations are minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes that are continuing. For the most part, nobody but anybody very sensitive are going to feel these earthquakes here. These are minor 2.5, 2.8 earthquakes happening here. 2.5 to 2.8 earthquakes happening here. Look at the bottom of the diagram here. Look at the bottom line on the green line. Down here on the green line, we see 2.0 earthquakes. Throughout the rest of this here, all the rest of this color here, looks like a kid got a crayon, started marking it up, doesn't it? Earthquakes happening, guys. Earthquakes happen here in Missouri and Arkansas. This is basically the center of the New Madrid Fault, guys. The center of the New Madrid Fault going north. But we're not done here. We're not done. Hatachikoon, Arkansas this afternoon didn't stop. It continued. Down here at the bottom, on the blue line, we're seeing 2.6 and 2.8 earthquake here on the blue line. Just after 1, 2, 3, 3:33 this morning, 3:32 this morning. Okay? 2.6, 2.8 earthquake there. And those earthquakes continued. On the red line above it, we're also seeing 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes. Hatachikoon, Arkansas, guys, on the New Madrid Fault. How about Marktree, Arkansas? Look at this. We show you seismograms almost weekly here, showing earthquakes here on the New Madrid Fault at Marktree, Arkansas. Look what's happening here. The black line at the top is 12 midnight last night on the left-hand side. We'll come down here 3 hours later. 3:45 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4 lines later. We have a buildup of seismic energy, don't we? Tremors building up into a much larger earthquake. This seismic energy is at least a 3.5 earthquake. 3.5 earthquake. Why? Because this earthquake lasts over 2 minutes. This particular seismic energy lasts over 2 minutes. 3.5 earthquake here. Again, the top and the bottom have been cut off, so we don't know the exact strength of the quake, but it is at least a 3.5 earthquake. Why is that? Because again, the secondary wave after the last primary wave. We got the secondary wave, we go 1, 2, 3, 4 lines out, 4 minutes. The secondary wave lasted 4 minutes. That means this was a 3.5 earthquake at least. At least. But it's not over. It's not over. 5:15 this morning on the left-hand side on the red line. Go 5:16, we have some tremors. 5:17, the tremors are building. 5:18, the tremors are building even larger. Just before 5:19 this morning, we have another 3.5 earthquake. Another 3.5 earthquake. And this might have been larger than that. Why do I say that? Go out to the right side of this earthquake after the last primary wave. After the last primary wave of this quake, we go out 1, 2, 3, 4 lines out. Maybe 6 lines out, in fact. 6 lines out. Secondary wave again. Secondary wave. Guys, this was a good-sized small quake. Yes, people felt this quake. They felt rumbling underneath their feet. They felt this quake. Mark Tree, Arkansas. The shaking didn't stop, did it? It continued. It very much continued. After 6:45 on the green line, look at that. More movement. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes. The tremors and the minor earthquakes lasted 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. The largest minor earthquake was about a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I want to go down here. I want to show you another earthquake on the green line on the right-hand side. 7:55 this morning. The ground started shaking again. This time it was tremors moving. 3 minutes worth of tremors. Then the tremors got larger. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Then it kept going down to minor earthquake 2.0s and back up to 2.7, 2.8. 7:57, 7:58 this morning. Didn't stop. The ground didn't stop shaking. We come over here at 8 a.m. this morning on the black line on the left-hand side. The shaking continues here. 8:01. 8:01 was the largest shaking, probably a 1.7 earthquake, 1.7 tremor. But the tremors didn't stop. The tremors lasted 8:02, 8:03, 8:04, 8:05, 8:06. They continued all across this line here. The shaking didn't stop. Then we come down this black line on the left-hand side at the bottom. 11 a.m. this morning. More tremors. 8:15, more tremors. On the green line on the bottom, that is 11:45 on the left-hand side. 11:46, 11:47, 11:48, 11:49, 11:50. 11:51. At about 11:52, we see 2.5 earthquake happening again. Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. Then we have a secondary wave. The secondary wave lasted, we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes long. Which means this 2.5 should have been a 3.0 earthquake. Should have been called a 3.0 earthquake. This was a much larger quake. Okay, Marktree, Arkansas. We've seen this all the time at Marktree, Arkansas. We see minor earthquakes and tremors all the time. This should be nothing new. The only thing new is there are more earthquakes now. There are more earthquakes now. Not just Marktree, Arkansas either. Marktree, Arkansas this afternoon. The quakes didn't stop. 12 noon on the left-hand side on the black line. We come over here to the red line beneath that. 12:15 this afternoon on the left-hand side. We come over here to 12:43 this afternoon. I shouldn't say that. 12:28 this afternoon. 12:28 this afternoon, we have 2.5 earthquakes happening. 2.5 earthquakes happening for 2 minutes here. Then we come down here on the left-hand side at 2:30. Earthquakes are getting to be a 2.9 stature. 2.9, 3.0 stature here. The seismic energy lasts another minute and a half here. 2 minutes over here, just prior to the turn of the hour, just prior to 2:30. Then another minute and a half here. Seismic energy didn't stop, did it? It continued. Then we drop down to 3:45 on the green line here. 3:45 on the left, we come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes later, tremors begin. 1.8, 1.9 tremors. A minute later, 2.8 earthquake. 2.8 earthquake. That seismic energy lasted 60 seconds. Then we have another secondary wave here. That secondary wave lasted over a minute, about 70 seconds. This was probably a 3.0 earthquake here this afternoon. This afternoon. 3:50 this afternoon. Marktree, Arkansas. We're not done. Let's go over to North Central Arkansas to Ozark Folk Center in North Central Arkansas. Look what's happening here. We've seen these earthquakes before. Not like this though. We can't almost even see the differentiation between hours or even quarter hours here. That's because there was some minor shaking here. Tremors being shaken here. The ground is moving. Then we have some minor earthquakes happen. Minor earthquakes happened about 8:15 this morning. Actually, not 8:15, 8:20 this morning. 8:21 this morning. 9:30 this morning, we have 3.0 earthquakes. 9:30 this morning, we have at least 2 3.0 earthquakes. And the shaking didn't stop for several seconds. Probably 5 or 10 seconds. 10:30, the same thing. Starts off with a 2.1 earthquake, minor earthquake. 2.7, 2.8, a minute later. Several minutes later, we have a 2.9, 3.0. Then 11:02 a.m. this morning, 2.6 earthquake. That's on the black line. We come down here to the green line on the bottom right. Okay. Now we have down here 11:58 this afternoon, or this morning, 11:58 this morning. 2.0 earthquake. A minute and a half later, we have another 2.5, 2.6. Several seconds later, we have a 2.8 to 3.0 earthquake. 2.8, 3.0. We can't see the bottom line because the bottom of the line went off the seismograph, off the seismic page. The shaking continue here, guys. Continue here. Ozark Folk Center this afternoon. Let me show you this. Look at this. Multiple 3.0s happened today. Okay? 12:11 p.m. this afternoon. 12:11 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0 earthquake. Then after 12:30, actually 12 on the blue line just beneath that, on the left-hand side on the blue line, it'll be 12:30. Over here, we're at 12:26, 12:27 this afternoon. More minor earthquakes. On the green line beneath that, on the left-hand side, the tremors build up to 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes. Seismic energy kept happening for over 2 minutes. 2 minutes of 2.8, 2.9 earthquake activity. Then we had a bunch of tremors, didn't we? Look at the wavy line here on the green line here. More tremors. More minor earthquakes. Then after 1:15, you see more minor earthquakes here. 1:17, 2.3 earthquake. 18, 19, 20, 21. 1:21 this afternoon. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. We go over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later. 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes again. The seismic energy is cut off at the top and the bottom of this sequence, meaning that this was a large earthquake, probably a 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. Yeah. 1:30 this afternoon. Over here, we're at approximately 1:40 this afternoon. 1:39, 1:40 this afternoon. 3.0 earthquakes again, back to back. Multiple back to back. After that, we have 3 minor earthquakes here this afternoon on the green line and the bottom blue line. Okay? Ozark Folk Center, North Central Arkansas. Seismic energy is continuing, guys. It's not over. It's not over. Let's go further south to Truman, Arkansas. Look here. Again, we're going south here. Up and down the entire fault line, the earth is moving. The entire pneumatic fault is moving. Okay? In this case, look at the earthquakes this morning here. Okay? After 3:15, we see some tremors here, possibly even minor 2.0 earthquakes. The next blue line here, 3:30 on the blue line, minor 2.6, 2.8 earthquake here, and a bunch of tremors. Earthquakes lasting over 2.5 minutes here. The minor earthquakes are lasting over 2.5 minutes here. Jumping down here to 3:45 on the green line. 1.9, 2.0 earthquakes, and the seismic energy lasts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes long. 6 minutes long. The secondary wave lasts another couple minutes after that. We jump down here to 5 a.m. on the black line. 5 a.m. on the black line, the tremors begin. 5:03, we have 2.2 earthquakes. Then within a minute later, we're up to 3.0 earthquakes. And again, you see that the energy here that is expended with this quake, The top and the bottom of the signature have been cut off. Multiple 3.0 plus earthquakes here. I can't tell whether this is much more than 3.5, but the secondary wave here. Look at the secondary wave. The main quake lasts about a minute and a half. The secondary wave lasts a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. This is probably a 3.5 earthquake at least. At least a 3.5 earthquake here, guys. Truman, Arkansas. Look at the other tremors and minor earthquakes happening here today. Today. We come down here at 10:30 on the left-hand side. 10:32, 10:33, 10:34, 10:35. 10:35, we had another 2.0 earthquake. We continue to see tremors and minor earthquakes happening here. We come down to 11:45 on the green line at the bottom on the left. 11:45. We come over here to 11:55 this morning. More minor earthquakes hitting here. More minor earthquakes hitting here, guys. Didn't stop. Didn't stop at all. Let me show you Tyronza, Arkansas, further to the south. Look at this. The same kind of effect that we had in Truman is happening here as well. Very quiet after midnight. Very quiet after midnight. But as we get later and later in the morning, all of a sudden, the seismic energy ramps up here. After 6:22 a.m. this morning, 3.0 earthquake here. Then we have a bunch of tremors here. Lots of tremors here. Lots and lots of tremors. Then we come down here to 7:17 this morning. 3.0 earthquake at 7:17 this morning on the red line. 2.5 minutes later, another 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. 3.0, 3.5 earthquake happened. 7:32 this morning. 3.5 earthquake hit. Multiple 3.5 earthquakes hit. Not just one. Look at the thicker lines here. The thicker lines represent multiple earthquakes. And then out to the side of that seismic energy, there's more. Multiple 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes hitting here. Okay? Down on the next black line. 8 a.m. We come over at 8:03, we can just barely see what's going on here because the color changes. The color changes here. After 7:15, we have more earthquakes. But here at 7 o'clock, 7:03, 7:04 this morning, 3.0 earthquakes hit. 3.0 small earthquakes hit. It could have been larger than that. 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes hit here. Then, at 8:20 this morning, 8:20 this morning on this red line, 3.2, 3.3 earthquakes hit on the red line. They dissipate to tiny tremors. Then we go over 1, 2, 3.5 minutes later. 3.3, 3.5 earthquakes hitting again for just over another minute. Seismic energies continue to hit. Continue to hit hard and heavy. Look what's going on, guys. Still moving. On the red line on the right-hand side bottom. Okay? This would be 11:28 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake again. Prior to that, on the black line above, that's probably a 3.0 earthquake again. 11:14 this morning. Seismic energy didn't let up. Seismic energy didn't let up. Up and down the entire fault line. Arkansas guys, up and down the entire fault line. Tyronza, Arkansas, this afternoon right here. Didn't stop. We see minor earthquakes and we see tremors here until we get down to the bottom line here. Okay. Now I pulled this sidegram. Just after 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I should have been on the air, but I wanted to make sure we had the information. Look what happened after 3:45 or 3:40 this afternoon. 3:40 this afternoon, we have another 3.3 earthquake here. Tyronza, Arkansas, in southern Arkansas. We've gone from northern Arkansas to southern Arkansas. The seismic energy has not decreased at all. The seismic energy has not decreased at all. Now, what do you think's happened? What do you think's happened here? Let's go over to Barker Cemetery to the north. Missouri. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. Look what's happened here. 3 years ago, we started seeing minor earthquakes, tremors, and minor earthquakes. Nothing more than tremors and minor earthquakes 3 years ago. Now these minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9, have gotten larger. Yes, we're still seeing 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes today. 4:21 a.m. this morning. 2.5 earthquake. On the black line. 7:04 a.m. 2.6 earthquake. 2.7 earthquake within 40 seconds later. Let's go down to the next blue line. 7:30 on the left-hand side, we come over here to the right. 7:40 this morning. 2.6 earthquake. We go over 1.5, 2.5, 3 minutes later. 2.8, 2.9. 2.8, 2.9 minor earthquake. Yes, we're having minor earthquakes here. But 9:40 a.m. this morning. 9:40 a.m. this morning on the blue line near the bottom. 9:40 a.m. this morning, we have 3.0 small earthquake. I want to say 10:51 a.m. this morning on the green line. Another 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. Just over 2 minutes later, we have another 2.5, 2.6. The ground is moving here. Obviously, the ground is moving here at Barker Cemetery. Southern Missouri. Southern Missouri, guys, and Barker Cemetery didn't stop. This is this afternoon here. Yes, we have minor earthquakes here. I don't think any of these earthquakes up above 3.0. I believe they're all 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes. Yes, I believe we might have 2.5, 2.6 here as well. Barker Cemetery, Missouri. Let's continue here. Let's go north to East Prairie, Missouri. Again, all of these locations are along the Mississippi River, the New Madrid Fault. What's happening here? Okay. Yes, we have some microquakes and we have some tremors after midnight. But then as the morning progresses, the tremors begat minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes begat 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes and 3.0 earthquakes here. Maybe even 3.3. East Prairie, Missouri. It's ongoing, guys. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Let's look at this afternoon. This afternoon, all we have here are tremors. And yes, at the bottom here on the blue line, okay, 3:30 this afternoon, 2.3 earthquake. All the rest of these are all tremors. All the rest of these seismic events are tremors here. East Prairie, Missouri this afternoon. Fascinating. How about Guam, Missouri? Let's go north. Look at this. Up here on this black line. Right before the black line, we have a green line, don't we? The green line here is about 12:55 this morning. 12:56, tremor activity. Tremor activity continued until 1 a.m. this morning, just after 1 a.m. this morning, 1:01 a.m. this morning. Didn't stop. Didn't stop. Microquakes and tremors continued. We come over here to 1:13, 1:14 this afternoon, or this morning, 1:13, 1:14 this morning. Minor earthquakes again. Minor earthquakes. 2.7, 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes here. For 2 minutes. Just over 2 minutes. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Then we come down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 45 on the left-hand side. 7:48 this morning. Tremors build up. Tremors build up to 2.0 earthquakes. Then they dissipate as well back to tremors. Over here at 8:15 on the red line, we have tremors building up to minor earthquakes, 2.0 earthquake. Then it builds down again. Then we have a bunch of tremors here. 8:45 this morning. 8:47 on the green line here. 2.0 earthquakes. Tremors building into 2.0 earthquakes here. More tremors after that. Come down to 10:30 this morning on the left-hand side on the blue line. On the red line above it to the right, we have a bunch of tremors building up, don't we? Those tremors build up to no more than 2.0 earthquakes here. 2.0 earthquakes after 10:45 this morning. They lasted 3 minutes. Guam, Missouri. Guam, Missouri this afternoon. Yes, we have tremors here in Guam, Missouri this afternoon. Approximately 2:05 this afternoon. 2.0 earthquakes. 2:06, 2.0 earthquakes, and more tremors. On the next blue line after 2:30, over here in the center, just tremors. Over here on 3 p.m. this afternoon, more tremors here. Guam, Missouri. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. So now, folks, there's more. A lot more. Let's go up to where the pneumatic fault turns and goes to the east. The river bends. The river bends here. North of that river bending to the right, to the east, we have Matthews, Missouri. Matthews, Missouri. Look at this. Just north of the fault line. Just north of the fault line, we see tremors, we see minor earthquakes, we see 3.0 earthquakes here. Matthews, Missouri. Okay. We have some tremors building up to minor earthquakes after 2:20 this morning. After 1, 2, 3, 4:30 this morning, tremors building up to 3.0 earthquakes. Yes, 3.0 earthquakes. For nearly 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. 3.0 earthquakes for at least 2.5 minutes. Then, $5:15 on the left-hand side on the red line. We go across here to 5:21. Tremors building up to minor earthquakes, building up to 3.0 small quakes. And again, for about a minute, the top and the bottom of this sequence was cut off, meaning these were 3.2, 3.3 earthquakes here. Now, we drop down the next black line. 7 a.m. on the left-hand side, we see nothing but microquakes. We come across this line to be about, let me just make sure what this is. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 a.m. this morning. We come across this line to the right-hand side. We start off with some tremors, build up to 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes, build up to 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. That's all we have. Minor tremors and minor earthquakes here. Matthews, Missouri this morning. Okay. Let's go over to Portage Bay, Missouri this morning. Portage Bay, Missouri this morning. Microquakes and tremors here. Microquakes and tremors for the most part all morning long, except at the bottom here. The bottom left line, we see nothing but microquakes. That's 11 a.m. this morning. Come over here in the middle. Different story. Just about 11:08 this morning, we have a 2.3 earthquake. 2.3, even a 2.4 earthquake here. Minor quake. Minor quake here. Now, it doesn't end. Portersville, Missouri this afternoon. Okay. The top black line is 12 noon on the left-hand side. Come down here to 1 p.m. this afternoon on the left-hand side. We go over to the right. Now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.5 minutes later. 1:08 p.m. this afternoon. 3.1 earthquake. 3.1 small earthquake here. Then we have a bunch of tremors again. 2:08 p.m. 2.7 earthquake. We go from 3.0 to 2.7 earthquake here. In the center of the hour. Okay? Earth is still moving. Earth is still moving here. I want to go now to St. John's Bayou, Missouri this afternoon. Look at this. This morning here at St. John's Bayou, Missouri, again, this is right alongside the new Madrid Fault when the new Madrid Fault starts climbing to the north. It's turned from the east, now climbing to the north. St. John's Bayou, Missouri. Again at 12 noon, tremors, 12:15, 12:30, 12:25, 1 p.m., 1:15. We drop down to the blue line at 1:30, more tremors. But at 1:40 p.m. this afternoon, 3.0, 3.5 earthquake again. 3.1 to 3.5 earthquakes here. 1.5 minutes worth of shaking here. They cut off the top and the bottom of this seismic sequence. 3.1, 3.3 earthquakes here. St. John's Bayou, Missouri. Then it goes down to tremors again, and then it builds up again right before. Immediately right before 1:45. Okay? 1:44 p.m. this afternoon. It builds up to 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. That seismic sequence continues after 1:45 on the green line on the left-hand side. About 40 seconds. 40 seconds, guys, then it dies off to tremors again. And then the tremors continue all the rest of the afternoon. St. John's Bayou this afternoon. Seismic energy is continuing, guys. Up and down the entire fault line. Arkansas, Missouri, even Tennessee. Ridgely, Tennessee, guys. Ridgely, Tennessee this morning. Look at this. Always see our tiny tremors before we get over here to 9 a.m. Just before 9 a.m. on the right-hand side on the green line. 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. Ridgely, Tennessee at 9 a.m. 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 earthquake here. This is cut off at the bottom of the top. It may have been larger than that. Lasted almost a full minute here. Almost a full minute. The secondary wave on this side lasts another minute and a half. This was at least a 3.3 earthquake here. Then we come down here to 10:30 this morning, or excuse me, I'm sorry, 10:15 this morning on the red line here, on the left-hand side. Okay? 10:16, 10:17, 10:18, 10:19 this morning. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake again. Top and the bottom of that line were cut off. Why does the agency do it? Because they don't want to admit anything's going on here. They don't want to admit how strong these earthquakes are. They're happening. They're happening. Again, the New Madrid fault is moving. This is on the eastern side of the New Madrid fault in Ridgely, Tennessee. Ridgely, Tennessee, guys. Now, I want to go over to eastern Tennessee. This is completely different. Eastern Tennessee and southern Tennessee. Look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. This is a Tennessee seismic zone. This is a Tennessee seismic zone. Part of the southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. Part of the Eastern Continental Divide. The southern end. The Tennessee seismic zone. Look what's going on. Yes, we're having some tremors. Yes, we're having some minor earthquakes, but we're also having 3.0 earthquakes here as well. Small 3.0 earthquakes here in the Tennessee seismic zone. You can see it happening here. It is very evident what's going on here. Tremors, minor earthquakes, and small 3.0 earthquakes here in Hopper, Tennessee. Hopper, Tennessee, the Tennessee seismic zone. It's not only that, it continues this afternoon as well. Look at that. Tremors, minor earthquakes, and 3.0 earthquakes happening here. Literally off and on all day. It would not surprise me if we were to come back on the air at 8 o'clock tonight. Most of this seismogram would still be full up because the earthquakes are continuing, guys. Earthquakes are continuing. It's not stopping at all. Again, like I explained to you, the entire New Madrid zone is moving. The Tennessee seismic zone is moving as well. The entire place is moving, guys. I kid you not. It's moving. What do we need to be doing here? Why am I talking about it? I'm simply talking about it because the entire seismic zone is moving. The whole seismic zone is moving. What does that mean to you? All of you living along the New Madrid seismic zone, you need to be prepared. You need to have an emergency preparedness plan written out. Write the doggone plan out. Don't take any more time away from it. Make yourselves and your family and even your business an emergency preparedness plan. I've driven up and down to the north and the south and the east and west here along the fault zone. I've driven all over this fault zone, guys, going north and south. The highways are 2-lane blacktop. 1 lane going north and 1 lane going south. What happened here in the 1800s? December 1811 and January 1812, when the earthquake hit. The roadways then were horse and buggy paths, cow paths, horse paths. Those pathways were interrupted by huge fissures that opened up in the pathway, huge holes in the ground. Huge holes in the ground as the fault opened up. Traffic couldn't go up and down the fault any longer until they got out with shovels and filled in those holes. Yeah, this is happening. This is happening, guys. It's going to happen again. It's not if, it's when. It's not if, it's when, guys. I'm telling you, As I said, write out an emergency preparedness plan either on paper or get on your computer and write it out and then print it out for every member of your family. Make sure your entire family knows what to do when this earthquake strikes. Knows what to do when the bad weather comes in. Yes, we're going to have blizzards here. There's already snow on the ground along the New Madrid Fault. Already snow on the ground. They've had blizzard conditions that are going to be more. Heavy rain and flooding is going on. What are you going to do then? How are you going to respond? What are you and your family going to do? Write it out on a preparedness plan. Write it out right now. Don't wait. My preparedness plan for our family is over 100 pages over here on my bookcase. I share it with my wife because we are going to have a large earthquake here locally. 4 years ago, we had a 4.5 earthquake here. 5 years ago, 1 hour and 45 minutes going north, Sparta, North Carolina had 5.1. On the center of the divide, the center of the eastern coast continental divide. They're going to happen again. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you the earthquakes on the East Coast. Earthquakes on the East Coast, as I've explained to you, the center of the Atlantic plate is expanding like this, pushing North America, Greenland, Canada, and the United States and northern Mexico in a southwesterly direction, and even South America. Europe and Africa are being pushed in a easterly direction. That's why we're seeing so many earthquakes. That's why we're seeing so many earthquakes. All of the tectonic plates are moving. We continue to see X-class and M-class flares and R-class solar flares from the sun. That energy in the form of plasma radiation is reaching the Earth right now. We're seeing a lot of earthquakes. We're going to see more. We may see as high as an 8.0 earthquake very soon. We can see as high as an 8.0 earthquake very soon. You need to prepare for that. It's going to happen. The solar flare plasma radiation heats up the Earth when it strikes it. Heats up the center of the Earth when it strikes it. Heats up the surface when it strikes it. The plates heat up. The plates warm up. All the gunk and grime that hold the faults and the plates in place literally dissolve into oily, greasy-like substance. All that stuff that's held the plates in place by friction turns into an oily, greasy-like substance that allows the plates and the faults to more freely move. Thus, we have earthquakes. That's what's happening. That's what happened. You need to make sure you have a preparedness plan. You need to make sure you're having emergency preparedness kits already being made. Make sure you have food. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have adequate clothing, including jackets and warm weather gear. Hoodies, caps, possibly face masks because of the cold, and gloves for your hands and jackets for your body. Make sure you have adequate clothing to get through what's going on. Because if this earthquake happens again in December or January this year, December this year and January 2026, you're screwed. It's not just like happened in 1810, 1811. Back in the day, there was hardly anybody living on the New Madrid Fault. Several hundred people probably. Now we have millions up and down the entire fault line, from Louisiana to the north to the Great Lakes, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Look out. The fault line is going to pop. The fault line is going to pop. As I said when I started this today, we've seen earthquakes grow in strength. We've seen earthquakes numbers also increase substantially. I showed you that today. I've been showing you this increase for years now. Years. It's been a gradual increase. Now it's gotten substantial. It's gotten more substantial. We've had 4.5 earthquakes on the New Madrid Fault. We've had 4.5 earthquakes on the New Madrid Fault. That is a mid-range moderate quake. Those are mid-range moderate quakes. It's going to get larger. Remnant Truth is here saying catastrophic. I agree. It's going to be catastrophic. Roadways going north and south are going to be interrupted. Holes in the ground. They're not going to have water or gas even, because the pipes in the ground are going to pop. The movement of the fault is going to cause those gas lines to break. There's going to be fires. The water lines are also going to break. There's not going to be water enough to put out the fires from hoses or fire trucks. The fires are going to have to be put out through the air, through plane and helicopter drops of water. That's what's going to happen. Hospitals are going to be overwhelmed. They're not going to be able to drive ambulances, cars, or anything else. You might be able to get some bikes and motorcycles up and down the fault, but that's about all. People are going to have to walk to hospitals. Medical care must be flown in by helicopter. Yeah. Because the roadways will be blocked. The roadways are going to be blocked. This is going to happen. And yes, I'm talking the worst case scenario, because this is going to happen. We need to be serious here, guys. We need to be serious, and we need to be serious right now. I'm not going to put pitter-patter around. I'm telling you what is going to happen. Mike Ginafredo, thank you for being here. Mike is a very good friend of mine. He's been here on and off of the program for many years. Mike is saying Ron is all over this. So glad he's still reporting the truth. I thank you, Mike, for that. I thank you for that. Yes, we're going to be here. We're going to be here for as long as we possibly can. I want to make sure you realize how serious this is. It's not just on the New Madrid Fault. We're going to have a major earthquake in the Pacific Northwest in the form of the Cascadia megathrust earthquake. And further north, there's another fault line. On an island north of the Vancouver Island, Haida Gwaii. Haida Gwaii is going to see at least an 8.0 as well. The energy is not just going to be in that Cascadia area. It's going to radiate north to Alaska. It's going to go all the way south to northern Mexico. Fact. Fact. Not just that. It's not just the Cascadia or the New Madrid that's going to go. We've been talking about the San Andreas Fault as well. April 3rd, 2010, at the U.S.-Mexican border. We had a 7.1 earthquake in the area of Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico, just south of the border. That 7.1 earthquake was felt up in Arizona, all throughout Southern California to northern LA. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. The San Andreas Fault is going to pop to the tune of a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake. That's on the West Coast. Combine that with Cascadia, the West Coast is going to be destroyed. The West Coast is going to be destroyed, guys. Are you ready for that? I'm serious, guys. I'm serious as a heart attack. Are you ready for what's about to happen? If not, you better get there. And you better get there right now. Yes, my buddy Don Patoka is here. Mike says, like Don always posted, keep your head on a swivel and be ready to go. Absolutely. You need to be absolutely ready. And I'm talking ready immediately. What is happening is not going to stop. Once it pops, it's going to continue. As we said before as well, there are all kinds of political pressure going on. The Democrat Party has been lying to the public. The Republican conservatives are almost just as bad. But at least they're getting some work done. Our private lives are going to be deeply affected within the next few years. Our private lives are going to be deeply affected within the next few years. Get ready for it. There are going to be major changes. I also fully expect to have a stock market crash. I fully expect to see a stock market crash. And you talked about the EBT cards not being effective. Guess what happens when there's a stock market crash? Nobody has any food. Nobody has any food. What are you going to do then? What are you going to cotton pick and do then? I'm telling you to get right with the Lord. Get right with the Lord and do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Things are getting bad. Things are getting very bad. They're only going to get worse from here. Get your personal lives ready and in tune with God. Get your preparedness kits going immediately, if not sooner. Get your emergency plans written out. Make sure you have plenty of water and food. Tomorrow we're going to talk about emergency preparedness. Tomorrow night we're going to talk about emergency preparedness. And guys, I have over 150 pages of my book finished. I've got 150 pages in my book finished. That's not finished yet. That's about halfway through. I'm going to share a great deal of information with you tomorrow night. Get ready, guys. Get ready. Okay? Make sure you're right with the Lord. Make sure you're right with yourselves and your family. Because things are about to unwind completely. Things are about to unwind completely. Now, at the end of our programs, I strive to give you words from the Lord. I'm going to Acts chapter 20. This time, verses 28 through 31. Please pay attention here. These verses are very, very important. Take heed, therefore, unto yourselves and to all the flock, over the which the Holy Ghost hath made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he hath purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things. Verse 31. Make note of verse 31 here. Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn every one night and day with tears. 3 years the apostles were moving, trying to prepare the people for the death of the apostles after Jesus Christ was killed. Guess what's going to happen now? Get prepared, guys. Get prepared. I'm giving you information you need to know. Get prepared physically, get prepared spiritually, and get it done. Now is the time. Harbor Girl, I'm glad to see you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. May God be with you this day and always. I want to thank our fine mod squad for being here. I love each and every one of you. Also here, guys, before we leave here, notice the things that are scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Please, guys, we need your help to physically keep this program on the air. YouTube's not going to do it. We need your help. We need your donations to our PayPal account. Our Venmo, we're still trying to get figured out, but our PayPal still works. Also, you see our email address below that. RLTNSPDEMA@gmail.com. Send comments there. Send your criticism and also send ideas, what you want to see on this program, and we will respond and give that information to you on the program. Our mailing address is here as well. 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We'd appreciate you helping us there as well. We haven't gotten any cards or letters since the end of September. We used to get cards and letters every week. That has almost ceased. You can send us cards and letters. Inside the cards and letters, you can also send us donations, checks. It's happened before, it'll happen again. You can send us checks and or cash. If it's wrapped up in a letter, send us ideas on what you want to see on this program. Talk to us about how you and your family are preparing, what you're doing. Send us cards. We're getting in the holiday season. Carol and I would like to see cards as well. Inside the cards, you can also stick cash or a check. We'd appreciate your support. We greatly appreciate the support. PayPal and send us cash through the mail. Support through the mail. We greatly appreciate that a lot. A lot. Okay? Also, after this program is over, you're going to be able to leave comments about this program. Please do that. Please give us a thumbs up before you leave today. We greatly appreciate that as well. Ask God to bless you. Ask God to be with you this day and always. We love you. We truly love each and every one of you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. God bless.
Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning.